Big news of the day, of course, surrounds a certain band getting back together, Oasis. Yeah, just your immediate reaction, please.
Well, I'm very excited about it, as I think most people of my generation will be, and many others. So, yeah, I think it's big news, isn't it? I think it's going to be a race for tickets and a fight for tickets now. So, but yeah, it's exciting.
A race that you'll be part of?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'll try my very best.
So you were Oasis over Blur back in the day?
Well, I actually saw Blur live. I didn't see Oasis, so hopefully I'll get to do that now. Yeah.
Excellent stuff. Let's get on.
Can we keep talking about Oasis? Do we need to talk about transfer window?
I think that'll do. Just going back to the weekend, you said after the Forest game that we don't possess the individual quality up top like Forest do. So with the transfer window still being open, is that perhaps an area of the pitch that you might look to do something about between now and then?
I think, yeah, we're looking at a few things, but also it's not like a slight on our players or our club. They're Forest in a bit of a different place than us. So that if you look at what they've spent on the likes of Elanga and Hudson-Odoi and Morgan Gibbs-White, is a lot of money. And then Elliot Anderson as well, playing in midfield, and the guys on their bench. So we're just in different places. It's up to us to stay in the league long enough that we can then be in a place where we can go and do the same thing. So we have to do it differently. But yeah, they possess some top talent, and we will still be trying to add in our way for sure, because we need players that can make a difference. So yeah, I think it's a position we'd like to add if we can at some point in the next few days.
Reports this morning, I don't know if you've seen, could suggest that James Woodprow would be allowed to leave West Ham. Obviously, a player with plenty of history here, a club favourite. Is he someone that could do a job for you in that?
Prowse is probably one of many players in the Premier League could do a job for us. But does that mean he's going to come and do a job for us? We have a lot of midfield players, so I don't think it's a position that we are really trying to recruit in. So I don't know. I've stayed in touch with Prowse on and off over the last year, just stayed in touch, and he obviously got in touch when we got promoted. The club means a lot to him. But I don't know his situation, I haven't been updated on that. So he's West Ham's player, and he's a very good player. We were so impressed with him in the short time we had working with him. So yeah, I don't know where that's come from. It's not been on my radar. So yeah, I don't know what or where that comes from. The window brings up many things, and if his situation at West Ham has changed now, then I'm sure there'll be a lot of people that will be interested in his services.
Another name is the final keeper, Justin Balo. Have you got any update or anything to add?
Well, we've been linked with a lot of goalkeepers. Justin is one of them, as I said the other day, that has been on a long list that we've watched and we quite liked. But I don't have any update for you at all on that situation right now. I think it's a position we will add to, because we only have two experienced ones at the moment, in Joe Lumley and Alex McCarthy, so we need another one. But who that is, I couldn't tell you right now, because things change very quickly.
On the field then, do you mind just giving us a quick injury update?
I think we're nearly there. Adam Lallana's back in the squad tomorrow, which would be great. Ross Stewart is back training fully, properly, so hopefully in the next week or two you'll see a bit of him. Kamaldeen is back training now, so we'll have to wait and see what happens with Kamaldeen over the next few days, how he reacts to training, and also with the transfer window. So we'll see what his situation is. But I think, yeah, we're close to having a full, clean bill of health, really.
A couple of days on then from Forest, does it feel like a bit what might have been from the first two games so far?
Yeah, we should have some points on the board. When I look back at Forest, I wasn't happy with the first half performance, but actually it wasn't as bad as I thought. We need to create more, we need to do more. But their biggest threat came from set plays, and their biggest threat after that was when the game became open at 1-0, and their pace and threat on the counter-attack. Before that, there wasn't a huge amount in the game. They just had too many set plays and second phases where it felt a bit uncomfortable. And then we had such a good spell in the second half, we didn't make the most of that. So I think what we have shown and what the players have shown is we're going to be competitive. We're going to try and attack it in our way. We're not going to try, we are going to attack it in our way. And I think the learning we've taken from the first two games is huge as a group of staff and a group of players. And I think we'll improve, and I think we'll get better, and I think we'll add to the group in the next few days. So I feel really frustrated we haven't got a point yet, but I also feel really positive about a lot of things, and especially the players and what they're going to do, and they're going to grow into it. There was a little bit of tension in the first home game on Saturday, which I've been there, I understood it, but that's out of the way now. We now need to kick on, and we need to understand that the level of performance at Newcastle in the first half hour is where we need to live all the time. Which in the Premier League you just can't get away with not being there in that place. Whereas maybe in the Championship a few times we could get away with that. We can't in the Premier League. We need to. Every game is honestly it's as big as the playoff final, and we need to approach it like that and in that way. So we have to find a way to do that, and yeah, I'm confident we will.
Obviously, you haven't scored yet, but you had a lot of possession, the lion's share in both matches. Is that something that's a sort of worry early season, or maybe something you think will line itself?
No, we should have scored 3 goals at Newcastle. The other day we didn't create anywhere near enough, and that's down to us to work out. But no, I think there's this myth about our teams over the years where, because we've had a lot of possession, we don't, but we scored a lot of goals last year, a lot. And the team, Swansea team before that, we scored a lot of goals. So we're now trying to find a balance between being solid in the Premier League and finding a way to be solid and hunt the ball back without being really open, and then to try and create as well. And I think the last 2 games have given us a lot of learning in that way, actually. So yeah, we've been adaptable over the last year and not lost our identity in the team and the way we want to do things, and I think we can do that again, no problem.
You mentioned the mood around the place being a bit tense. Obviously different circumstances tomorrow, but could a win against Cardiff maybe do something to fix that?
Yeah, we got in such a brilliant habit of winning last year, and we've lost 2 games, so it's frustrating, but also it's very early days. But people are going to get on the pitch tomorrow and have an opportunity to put themselves in a team for the Premier League on Saturday. It's really that simple, and we want to win. I don't want it to roll into the Cardiff game and then become even more difficult. So the team that plays is one we think can win, but also they need an opportunity to show that they deserve to be in the team. And everything is up for grabs after 2 defeats. That's football. So they need to put pressure on me to put them in the team. They need to put pressure on their teammates to get themselves in the team. And I'm really confident actually they can go there and put in a really good performance. And I'm excited to see the team that we're playing. I'm excited to see some of the guys on there, some new players playing for the first time, some young players playing that deserve the opportunity after a brilliant pre-season. So I'm really excited about the game actually.
A couple of names: Mateus Fernandes, Leslie Igochukwu. Could they be handed?
Yeah, they're playing. Yeah, they're playing.
Okay.
Yeah.
And just lastly, then, with obviously the fight for Premier League survival being the aim this season, can you also sustain a cup run, or is it something that you?
We'll wait and see, won't we? Yeah. We have a big squad though at the moment, and that will probably be trimmed in numbers in the next few days, I'm sure. But it's an opportunity for the players to play in our way, to be the team we want to be against a good opponent. So yeah, I think any opportunity you have to play, and I said this to the guys yesterday, I would have loved the opportunity to play in a team that played this way. I didn't have a chance really. So every opportunity you get, you can't take for granted. You need to make the most of it. And yeah, I want to win. I want to beat Cardiff. We want to win. We want to progress. It really doesn't matter about we can't take on 2 games and all this stuff. No, we need to win and prepare ourselves in the best way for Saturday that we possibly can.
Best of luck, thanks.
Thank you.
And these early season League Cup ties are really useful to managers, aren't they? Much more tactically, strategically than people used to talk about them.
Yeah, I think it's opportunity. So I had a chat with someone recently about the League Cup, saying, has it lost any credibility? Really, it really hasn't. I think it just gives opportunity to people to play, for us to learn some more things, to try some things. And it's an opportunity to sort of take out the frustration of the last couple of weeks onto the pitch. So I'm genuinely looking forward to it. I'm enjoying the preparation for it. And we are choosing to make a lot of changes, but not out of lack of respect for the competition. We need to get everyone prepared and ready, and we need to see some people in competitive action for the first time, because pre-season is so different. So, we've signed a lot of players that can't quite get into the team yet because the team found consistency and fluidity last year and built relationships. So a lot of them guys have ended up starting on the pitch. So now the new guys and the young guys need to make sure they put themselves in the frame.
You talked about the amount of goals you scored last season. Should have scored a few at Cardiff in April. That was one of the most ridiculous first halves we've ever seen. Now you're smiling, but at the time it wasn't funny, was it? But thankfully you got promoted, but it was a hell of an afternoon.
Yeah, it was. And I've seen a video back of my team talk after the game in that game, and I didn't really enjoy it. Well, I watched it for about 3 seconds, started sweating, so then but yeah, it was a crazy game. We should have been 5-0 up at half time and weren't, and then paid the price for that, for being really a bit lackadaisical in front of goal and probably a bit too relaxed because they played so well, the players, and then we paid the price. So yeah, I think it wasn't a nice memory at that time, but we bounced back brilliantly from it. But yeah, I want a different experience, same level of performance hopefully, but in the first half, but a different experience at the end of it.
What can we expect, or what do you hope from Leslie Ugochukwu? Because it's a lot of money for a young man that Chelsea paid not that long ago. He's played in the Premier League. What are we going to see?
What I want to see is some understanding of what we're asking him to do, because it's a bit different to what he's done in his time at Rennes and Chelsea, and then just to give everything he's got to break up play, to keep the game ticking over for us. He can't learn from anyone better than Flynn Downs, and the two performances he's put in have been really outstanding actually. Flynn without the ball and with it, so yeah, he needs to be the guy. He needs to be the king in the middle of the pitch, and to dominate that middle of the pitch as much as he can and make the game go through him. And it's a big responsibility, that position for us. So I'm sure we'll see some brilliant bits, and there'll be some bits that we need to work on and to learn from. But it'll be great for him to feel that and to be on the pitch and to actually live that, rather than just in training getting pushed about and moved about and being told where to be. Yeah, so I think the guys around need to help him, and obviously Matty as well. Matty Fernandez, you saw the impact he's going to have, I think, on Saturday. He's a really outstanding talent, really excellent player. So I'm looking forward to watching him as well.
Actually, one of the positives of this season has been Tyler Dibbling, hasn't he? He's been terrific playing on the half turn and doing what he's done coming off the bench.
Yeah, he's yeah, it's really difficult, isn't it? Because I don't want to come out here and build him up too much for you guys, because then it becomes a little bit of pressure and level of expectation. But he is a beautiful footballer, a really outstanding talent. He's powerful. He possesses stuff that not every player possesses. So he has unique traits and unique talent, and he's a brilliant young man. We love Tyler, and he is very, very close, and probably unlucky not to be playing in the team after the pre-season he had. He's had 2 appearances off the bench and did really, really well on Saturday. Just that last little end product, which is 18, that will come. But he's unique, and he's a special talent in my opinion, and he's ours, and we need to develop him in the best way possible. But he needs to play well tomorrow night and put himself even more in the frame for the team, because he's been really, really impressive.
Just one on the transfer, if I can, the time that's left. You're part of the sort of team of people dealing with having to make calls on transfers. But you, I guess, come down the process towards you rather than starting with you. So, can you influence, how much money is spent on one player? Because, some people might say you're better off spending 30, 40 million on an Evan Nielsen like Bournemouth did. Why aren't we doing that rather than buying 2 players at 20 or whatever? Mm-hmm. So how do you get it right? How do you get it right when you're looking like that? How does it? What's important?
Well, I think when you have clarity on what you have and what you don't have. So there's a wage structure. If you go and spend a certain amount of money on one player, I think that player then expects the wages to be a bit higher, so we're not going to do that. So I think it's about assessing priority, level of importance of that position and what we need, how different it is to the group we already possess and what we already have in the building, character of the player. So, yeah, I think we've done good business on the whole, not just for now, but for like the short and long-term future of the club. Whereas I think 18 months ago, 2 years ago, in the January window, it was very much about spend money for here and now, because you need to stay in the Premier League. So we haven't done that, and I think that's agreed by us, that we're not just going to go all in for one season and then put the club in a situation down the line that isn't very good for the club. So we've made signings for now, and signings that are going to be really good players for the club over a long period of time, in my opinion. And not everyone will agree with that strategy, but the club have gone with us to try and bring some stability over a period of time, to bring a way of doing things. We've added players that are going to do that, and of course some players that can help us here and now, and we all believe they all can now, but some are going to take a bit longer than others. So I think it's about being really aligned. And then the club have, as I said, the owners have been great. They've invested really, really well in 2 players that were so important to us last season, and can't ever lose sight of that. Matty Fernandez is a top talent, had clubs all over Europe looking at him and watching him. Cam Archer the same, England 21 striker. It's not a small investment for this football club. So I think by the end of the window we'll be really happy with the business we've done. Would we love to go and spend 25, 30 million on 1 or 2 players? And of course, but it's not I knew at the start we wouldn't be doing that. So I can't sit here being frustrated about that when I know that's the situation we're in. So, and I'm sure at some point the ownership group and Dragon would sit there and love to do that as well on one player or two players. But then there's an imbalance then with the rest of the squad, because you then go and do that and then everyone looks at it and goes, okay, so you can. So it's I think it's really, I don't lose any sleep over that. I'm not stressed about it because we're all aligned and we have real clarity in what we're doing. The problems come when there is miscommunication or a lack of clarity, or you say one thing and do another, but that just hasn't happened. So it's been fairly relaxed and it's a lot of work. I can't wait for it to end so that we can, I love seeing the guys, but stop having Zoom calls every 2 days and chatting about 100 different things. So once it ends, hopefully we'll look back and be happier with it. And it will take us through till January, and then in January it'll be the same. We'll assess what we need, what we want, where we're at, and see where it takes us.
Thank you. That's a heck of an answer, because I'm thinking of what you said about Forest being on a different path 3 years into the Premier League. It's different how you do
it's completely different, yeah. And I've seen it done where you gamble on that first year and you think just adding loads and loads of players. Well, I think Burnley are a great example last season. A great example of that. They lost a bit of continuity from the team that took them from. And I'm not criticising Burnley; they choose to do it in their way. But I think maybe they would do things differently if they had the chance again. So we'll see. And maybe we'll look back on the year and go, we should have spent loads and loads of money and done it that way. But I really believe in the group we have, and we just need to keep adding the right people and people that will help us.
Just on Kyle, if I can. We've only got 3 more days of asking you about him. I guess, is he comfortable like you are with him being here or not being here? Is it the relationship, the synergy?
I think he's going to be here. So I think like all the interest that was there and the deals that might have happened have pretty much gone, unless someone decides really late doors that they want Kyle. So he's been great. As I said, I think window shuts. We've offered him a new contract, so maybe that'll be another discussion. But if not, he needs to play in the same way he has done, the same way Stewie Armstrong, Shay Adams did last year. In the last year of their contracts, they were fantastic for us. So I think everyone's really relaxed about it. He's played really well in the first 2 games, and it's a bonus having him here, because I think we all sort of resigned ourselves to him leaving the building.
Okay, in bargain for 10:30.
Just quickly on that, Russell, if I can. If a bid comes in the last hour of the window, does a point come where you say, I'm sorry, it's too late and we have to say no?
For Kyle, I don't know, that's out of my hands really. I think we signed Yuki, we have James Bree, so yeah, I don't know. That will not be my decision. I'll have an opinion on it, of course, but if Kyle really wants to go at that point and the ownership group decides it's enough money, then yeah, it will be what it will be. But I just, right now I can't envisage that happening, but things change quickly in football.
No, I appreciate that, thank you. Just on the depth and the squad, and we were talking about the 11 that you could play tomorrow. It could be a complete 11 changes, full of new signings, full of young players. It's really exciting to see that. And will you be as bold and make 11 changes? If you are, does it look as good on paper as we think it does?
I hope so. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But there will be 11 changes, and that's, like I said to you, not out of lack of respect to the competition or Cardiff, but we need to see players on the pitch, and they need to play in a competitive game, and need to put themselves in the frame for the league games. And I really believe the team will be good enough to win, otherwise we wouldn't make 11 changes. That's simple. And I hope they can play in the way that I know they can, and I think they can, because it is exciting. We have a lot of young talent on the pitch tomorrow, in a lot of different positions. And that's what I'm saying there when I spoke to Adam about that, about trying to help us short term, but also securing the long-term, medium, long-term future of the club in terms of the people I have in the building and doing things in a certain way. So it's an amazing opportunity for them guys to put themselves in the team, to put in a performance to be proud of, to win the game, and to get the season up and rolling, really.
I think someone made the comparison to me about Gillingham last year, but it feels like a
no, it's totally different
situation.
When we spoke about it 2 weeks ago, and we're trying to plan, and like it would have been really easy after Saturday to go, actually no, we need to play the team again to try and build to get a win, but I've not been really unhappy with the performance. Now it's about opportunity, so we planned it, we stick to the plan. The guys need an opportunity to play. At Gillingham, I think we played 8 players on the pitch that we knew weren't going to be part of the plans, probably, and Sam Ammo was a year earlier, Jaden McGowan was a year earlier, so I think it's completely different. Now these guys are here because they want to be here, they've bought into what we're doing, they understand the way we want to play. So it's a completely different scenario to Gillingham. Gillingham was Yeah, it gives me shivers down my spine thinking about it. Yeah, it was probably the least enjoyable, and there were some tough moments last year, but that was the least enjoyable night of my tenure here. But then when you step back from that and you looked at it and go, actually, a lot of these guys are not going to be here. I think Stewie was playing his first 45 minutes. Shay Adams the same. After the uncertainty of him, so yeah, it's completely different, and I expect a completely different level of performance from the guys that are going to go on the pitch.
Really pleasing for Adam Lallana's back involved. When I spoke to him out in Girona, he was quite honest in that he was quite nervous before playing Eastleigh. Obviously didn't end up getting on the pitch, but returning to the club where he left sort of 10 years ago and where he was the captain and the main man. How does he settle those nerves on this occasion? So I imagine he'll still be there. Yeah,
we've had a lot of chats, me and Adam, about it, and I think when you care so much about something and he wanted so badly to be here and finish his career, now it's happened, and he also wants to add, so he doesn't want to come back and people going, oh, you know, he's a completely different player and he's not, you know, I'm not sure he can help us, because he's such a top player and a top character. So when you care that much, of course there's some tension in the body that you're going to feel at some point. But I think he's fine. He's looking forward to it. I think it's completely different. Hopefully he'll get on the pitch at some point tomorrow, and he'll be in a really good place for it. He's trained so well. So I'm looking forward to seeing him on the pitch. I think everyone is, and I think he just needs to get that first few minutes out of the way and it will settle down, and then he can look forward to enjoying the rest of the season and helping us.
A lot of reports come out in the last sort of 24 hours saying that the Charlie Alcaraz to Flamengo is getting closer to being done. Is there anything you can tell us about that deal at the time, how the deal's made up, what it means for the club?
Well, I think if it happens, it helps us financially. I think Carlos is a really talented player. But probably his attributes suit a different style, a different way of playing more than they do with us. He's a great guy. I've enjoyed working with him. If he stays, it's not a problem. But I think he's at a stage in his career where he wants to play and wants to play every week. And yeah, so we'll have to wait and see on that one. But I think if he goes, it's a good deal for us and it's a good deal for Carlos. And he goes, you know, with nothing but positive things, hopefully, about to say about the club and us to say about him. So yeah, I think he obviously played in a system that really suited him and suited his attributes and did well in a team that really struggled. And then last season, a couple of really good moments, but couldn't quite get into the team in front of people. And yeah, he wanted to go and play elsewhere in January, and he did. And obviously, that he didn't play as many minutes as he would have liked. So now he's in a point in his career where I think if it works for him and it works for us, then he moves on and goes and plays somewhere that suits him probably. So yeah, we'll just have to wait and see. But if it happens, it'll be a good deal for him. It'll be a good deal for us, and it means we can probably have players that can really help us in the next few days.
Just very finally, if I can, you said on Saturday that you wanted some help in the final third, which you've been very clear about all the way. Is that one player, two players more?
I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. I think I need to help the lads. We need to help the lads a bit more as well. So, but yeah, I think we just need, like, you know, last summer Nathan left and he went and had achieved brilliant things with, and then we end up playing Armour out there, and he did brilliantly. But he's a guy that wants to play as a number 9, really, and he did all last season, although he scored 25 goals or whatever. But we just need people that are a bit different to what we have right now, probably, just so we have various options. Because I'm really happy with the options we have, but we have a lot of similar options, if that makes sense. So we just need probably 1 or 2 points of difference at some point. I think Matty Fernandez can definitely help us with that. Tyler Diblin, Sam Ammo is a brilliant young player. So yeah, we'll wait and see where we end up. But also it depends on who leaves the building as well. So whether it's 1 or 2 players or whatever, it will depend on maybe who goes out. So yeah, it's probably annoying and frustrating for people, but it also may be exciting for some to see what happens. But as I said, I'm quite relaxed about it, and I'm pretty sure whatever business we do will be good for us.